Welcome to Counterpoint. I'm David Clement, filling in for Tanya Granick-Allen. While there is a lot to talk about in the world of Canadian politics, there are some interesting political developments happening with our neighbors to the south. In the lead up to U.S. midterms, many are forecasting that the Democrats could be in a position to lose control of both Congress and the Senate. Are the Dems slated for monumental losses? If so, why are they losing the support of the American electorate? And what impact will this have on the 2024 presidential election? Joining me to discuss this is Adam Korzeniewski. Thank you, Adam, for joining us on Counterpoint.
Thank you for having me, David.
So the midterms are not very far away. There's a lot of headlines in regards to the direction or the ways in which the wind is blowing. What is the latest polling, or what is your view on how the midterms will shake up, Republican versus Democrat?
Yeah, so one of the key problems for Republicans going into this election is, even though they have the momentum, is just where the seats are aligned, right? So in the United States system, population is arranged differently for each of these congressional seats. And right now, there's only looks like to be a narrower majority for the Republicans than expected that'll be coming out of this election. So normally, when you have such high inflation, as well as such intense dislike of the current president, you would normally see like a huge bounce back for the opposition party. However, we're just really not seeing it in the kind of ways that really is important. And there's a lot of weakness in the Republicans, despite likely achieving a majority in the Congress next year.
And so you mentioned on the Republican side some of their limitations, where the votes are, where the congressional districts are, and what's up for grabs. But underlying that is some irritation both with the president and Democrats more generally. What do you think are some of the root causes? You mentioned inflation, but what are some of the root causes of that frustration or irritation with the Biden administration, which obviously filters down into congressional politics?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first year of the Biden administration wasn't seen as very successful, predominantly because of COVID restrictions still in place, and some of our deeper blue, blue is Democrat in the United States, are more urban areas where voters tend to be much more Democrat leaning. So there's kind of a softness with the Democrat base because they haven't really gotten a lot of their agenda done. However, it's always about the economy with the midterm elections. The Republican Party is the party of spend less, tax less, and predominantly a lot of Americans are feeling the crunch with this energy squeeze, but also the huge amounts of inflation. The United States had been seeing record inflation compared to I guess for the last about 40 years, I'd say. And so, that's a huge, huge weakness for any incumbent president and the party that's in power.
Yeah, I mean, the reality on the ground, I think for a lot of people, it feels very much like it's the economy stupid moment. How better can Republicans seize that beyond the limitations you described? Is there something more that can be done for them to capitalize?
Oh, absolutely. So we have the part of the problem with the Republican Party is they've become so myopically focused on inflation, right? Inflation probably has hit a ceiling and it's boomeranged a little bit down, but it's still at real highs. And energy costs are still high, but they've gone down recently. It's a secondary effects that the Republican Party really needs to be running on, which is being tough on crime. And that's one of the things that the Biden administration has done, is at least done a public relations effort to look like they're trying to fund federal police at a much higher level, even though that doesn't really impact street crime. The Republicans actually have had no messaging on this consistently. You have some candidates here and there who are kind of taking a lead on it, but by and large, it's been absolute radio silence from the party itself.
How much do you feel that communication issue centers around the lack of leadership, let's say, on the Republican side? Who is the voice of Republicans these days? Is it the former President Trump? Are there others who are emerging? There seems to be some gray area there.
Yeah, it is the former president, and he is a grandee of the party, whether he decides to run again or not,
Hmm.
and he kind of dictates the tone. And the Republican leader in the House of Representatives in the United States is very, very how should we put it, very soft when it comes to his public displays.